Even though the four Kumaras were instructed by their great learned father Brahma, they could not actually understand the absolute truth. They could only understand the supreme absolute truth when they personally saw the personality of Godhead with their own eyes. In other words, when one sees or understands the supreme personality of Godhead, the other two features of the absolute truth, namely impersonal Brahman and localized Paramatma, are also automatically understood. Therefore, the Kumaras confirm, you are the ultimate absolute truth. The impersonalists may argue that since the supreme personality of Godhead was so nicely decorated, he was therefore not the absolute truth. But here it is confirmed that all the variegatedness of the absolute platform is constituted of Shuddha Sattva, pure goodness. In the material world, any quality, goodness, passion or ignorance is contaminated. Even the quality of goodness here in the material world is not free from the tinges of passion and ignorance. But in the transcendental world, only pure goodness without any tinge of passion or ignorance are all pure Sattva Guna. Such variegatedness in pure goodness is exhibited eternally by the Lord for the satisfaction of the devotee. The devotee does not want to see the supreme personality of God, absolute truth, in voidness or impersonalism. In one sense, absolute transcendental variegatedness is meant only for the devotees, not for the others. Because this distinct feature of transcendental variegatedness can be understood only by the mercy of the Supreme Lord and not by mental speculation or the ascending process. It is said that one can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead when one is even slightly favored by Him. Otherwise, without His mercy, a man may speculate for thousands of years and not understand what is actually the absolute truth. The mercy can be perceived by the devotee when he is completely freed from contamination. It is stated therefore that only when all contamination is rooted out and the devotee is completely detached from material attractions can he receive this mercy of the Lord. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. Om ajnanatimirandasya jnananjana shalakaya chakshuram militam yena tasmai shri gurave namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shrivasadi Gaurabhaktarunda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So the Kumaras are continuing their realization about the Lord. The last verse they spoke about how the Lord is not visible to others who are not pure in their heart, who are not qualified. So now they are confirming that Krishna is the Vishnu form, what they saw is the absolute personality, the highest form of realization. And who can understand that realization? Who cannot understand that realization? That qualifications also they have mentioned here. She says, Tam Tvam Vidama Bhagavan Paramatma Tattvam. Oh my dear Lord, we understand you, Tvam Param Atma Tattvam. You are the highest absolute truth. Tam, that we have understood, Vidama. Tam Vidama Tvam Paramatma Tattvam Satvena Samprati Ratim Rachayanti Esham. And what is your form? Satvena. It is uncontaminated by any of the material qualities. It is in absolute goodness. Satvena Samprati Ratim. Now, how are we able to understand this? Because you have created that love for you within us. Samprati Ratim Sam Rachayantam. You have created that love within us. You have awakened that love within us so that we were able to understand you now. Yatte Anutapa Vidite Druda Bhakti Yoger. And how is this possible? This is possible at Yatte Anutapa Viditehi. Only by your mercy that we were able to understand you, because you evoked the love for you by which we were able to know you. Anutapa viditehi. We are able to know you because of your mercy. And Druda Bhakti Yogehi. And unflinching devotional service. Udgratayanto Hridi Vidur Munayo Viragaha. And with unflinching devotional service, and whose hearts, Hridi, Viragaha, which are free from all material attachments. Udgrantayaha, all the bondages have been cleansed off from our hearts. Who became free from all material bondage in the heart because of not interested in viragaha, because of detachment from this world. Ragaha means attachment, viragaha means one who is detached. Because of these qualifications, we were able to understand. So the translation what says, we know that you are the supreme absolute truth. Tam tvam vidama bhagavan paramatma tattvam. Who manifests his transcendental form in the uncontaminated mode of pure goodness, sattvena. This transcendental eternal form of your personality can be understood only by your mercy. Samprati ratim rachayantam esham yatte anutapa viditaihi. Through unflinching devotional service, Dhrudha Bhakti Yogena, and by great sages, Munayaha, whose hearts have been purified in the devotional way, Udgratayanto Hridi Vidur Viragaha. So in the purport, Prabhupada is explaining about the Kumaras, why they understood now, why not earlier. They were listening from Lord Brahma about Krishna's qualities, Vishnu's qualities, but they could not comprehend the understanding, what they have learned. But now why they are able to learn more, why they are able to understand more? In the purport it says, even though Kumaras were instructed by their great learned father Brahma, they could not actually understand the absolute truth. What might be the problem? They could understand the absolute truth when they personally saw the Lord with their own eyes. One is factually when they saw the Lord. Earlier it was only hearing. Now that hearing bore a result when they saw the Lord. The impersonalist may argue, since absolute truth was so nicely decorated, he was therefore must not be absolute. See, what is happening is a person with a deformity, he is thinking whole world is deformity. Because in impersonalists they have seen a form has a problem. Material world, these forms are not permanent. Because we have a body, we lose the body. They think that's why we should not have anything in the spiritual world. Negation is the principle of Mayavadis and impersonalists. So they are thinking because there is a form here in the spiritual world, there should not be any form. Because Kumaras saw the Lord with fully decorated opulences and all. No, this is Maya. This is not the Supreme Lord. One can understand the Lord when one is slightly favored by Him. Otherwise, without His mercy, a man may speculate for thousands of years and not understand what is absolute truth. So by our mere mental speculation, we can never understand the Lord. For that, we should require a slight mercy from the Lord. This mercy can be pursued by the devotee when he is completely free from contamination. When can you understand that mercy, that you are receiving that mercy? When we are free from material contamination. So absolute transcendental variegatedness is meant only for devotees. The Vaikuntha is especially only for devotees, not for impersonals. Because this distinct feature can be understood only by the mercy of the Lord and not by mental speculation or the ascending process. Aroha Panta, Avaroha Panta. There are two ways in understanding Vedic knowledge. Aroha Panta means we are trying to go forward. I am trying to understand by my capacity. Avaroha Panta means receiving the knowledge from the top. So Jiva Goswami explained this verse with the technicalities, with a question and answer format. So Lord Narayana, because this discussion is happening between Vishnu and Kumaras, so Lord Narayana may say, how do you know that I am Supreme Personality of Godhead? The Kumaras now are answering, because we have seen you with our eyes. We know so you are Supreme Personality of Godhead because Vidhama, we know you, because of Paramatma Tattvam, because of your spiritual divine form. Param Atma Tattvam, because of your spiritual personality. Then Lord is saying, how do you know actually that I am that Supreme Personality? You are saying you know, but how? Because we know you because you now manifested before us this transcendental uncontaminated form of pure goodness. Samprati satvena. Samprati satvena. You have manifested, samprati, created this. Satvena, that pure form for us. Till now we have not understood you, but when we saw you directly, we have concluded that you are the supreme. You appear before the spiritual life of us who are pure in our heart. You are not visible to ordinary material eyes. So what is the qualification? Because we are pure in our heart. Hridi udgratayantaha viragaha. Our heart, udgratayantaha, there is no material attachment. And we are viragaha, we are completely detached from matter. No attachment at all. That's why we became qualified. One, you do not know your transcendental knowledge because it is devoid of love for you. Why could not know? Because we were devoid of love for you. At that time we could not know you. Now how are you able to know? Rachayantim ratim. We have created, evoked that love within us. Earlier we could not feel that love. Now you have awakened your love for us by your mercy. So by your mercy, anutapa vrittaihi, viditaihi, and what was the qualification? The mercy, how you are able to achieve anutapa mercy, whatever was, druda bhakti yogaihi, because of firm, unflinching devotional service. And udgratayantaha viragaha, because we are without attachment and free from material bondage, and we are not interested in material life. With all these qualifications, we were able to access, or we were able to awaken the mercy of you. Because of your mercy, you have awakened love for you. And because of that love, we were able to understand you. We were able to see you face to face. So this is the perspective what Jiva Goswami was saying, what is there in this verse. The qualifications of sages, how they were able to understand the Lord, and how Lord made them understand, and what was His mercy upon the sages so that they can understand it. So Shastras explain who can understand about the Lord. Prabhupada always quotes his shloka. Nayam atma pravachanena labhyo na medaya na bahuna shrutena. By pravachana, by hearing a lecture, nayam atma pravachanena labhyo na medaya, by one's intelligence, na bahuna shrutena, by reading various scriptures, nayam atma, we can never understand the Lord. Yam yevaisha vrinite tena labhyaha. If Lord reveals Himself, then only we can understand. Tasyaisha atma vivrinite tanum swam. To such a person, one who has become purified by his qualifications and by his devotional service, Lord reveals Himself. We cannot go and demand the Lord, now you come and stand in front of me. Can we demand the Lord? So unless Lord is interested, unless Lord is satisfied by us, He will not reveal Himself. So Prabhupada has quoted this shloka many places. And he also referred one more shloka, which was quoted by Lord Brahma, when he saw that boys had transformed into Narayana features. He says, Atapite deva padambujadvayam prasada leshanu grahita evahi. Janati tattvam bhagavan mahimno nachanyo eko api chiran vichinvan. This is Brahma's relation. He is saying, O Deva, O my dear Lord, atapite anugrahaha. If one is favored by you, by lesha evahi, by a slight trace. Lesha means a slight trace. If one is favored by the Lord in a slight trace of what? Te padambuja dvaya prasadaha, the mercy of your lotus feet. By the mercy of a fraction of a lotus feet of the Lord, mercy of the fraction of the lotus feet of the Lord. Janati tattvam bhagavan mahimnaha. Janati tattvam, He will understand about you, tattvam in truth, and all your glories. Bhagavan mahimnaha. Nacha anya ekopi, and there is no other way to understand about the Lord. Chiram vichinvan, even though you may study the Vedas for many, many years, it is not possible by studying the Vedas. By jnana process, you can never understand the Lord. Only when Lord bhakti to the lotus feet of the Lord is awakened, then by the slight mercy of that bhakti and strong attachment to the lotus feet, Lord reveals himself to the devotee. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained this perspective when he want to understand about Krishna, why he had to accept Radharani form. He says, Ekamatra Amshi Krishna Amsha Avatara Amshi Amshe Deki Jesta Kanishta Achara. So Lord Krishna is the source of all incarnations and all others are his parts or partial incarnations. Ekamatra Amshi, he is the source. Krishna Amsha Avatara, all his parts are avatars. Amshas are avatars. Amshi Amsha Deki Jesta Kanishta Achara. In that whole perspective, there are superior and inferior perspective. In parts, there are superior and there are inferior. Jesta Bhave Amshite Hoya Prabhu Jnana Kanishta Bhave Apanate Bhakta Abhimana. So whenever the Supreme Lord, he has the emotion of a superior personality, when he considers himself the Master Krishna. And when he has the emotion of an inferior personality, he considers himself a devotee. Superior is when Krishna treats himself as a Supreme Lord. When inferior is when Krishna becomes a devotee. He accepts the inferior position. Krishnera samata haite bada bhakta pada Atma haite Krishnera bhakta haya premaspada. The position of being a devotee is higher than that of equality with Krishna. For the devotee are dearer to Lord Krishna than his own self. That's why Krishna says, Madbhakta Pujyadika. My devotees are more worshipable than me. He gives highest credit for his devotees because they take all risks in propagating Krishna's service. Atma haite Krishna bhakte bada kari mani ihate bahuta shastra vachana pramana. Lord Krishna considers his devotees greater than himself. In this connection, the scriptures provide an abundance of evidence. Na tatame priyatama atma yonir na shankaraha na cha sankarshano na shrir naivatma cha yata bhavan. Krishna is saying to Uddhava, atma yonir na shankaraha, neither Brahma nor Shiva, na cha sankarshano na shri, neither Sankarshana nor Lakshmi Devi, na eva atma, neither my own self. Na tatabe priyatama yata bhavan. Nobody as dear to me as yourself. He is saying, my dear Uddhava, you are very dear to me. And in comparison, neither Brahma, nor Shiva, nor Sankarshana, nor Lakshmi, nor even myself is not that dear to me than you. He is saying, devotee is more dear to the Lord. Devotee of highest category. All are devotees, but devotee of highest category is very dear to me, Krishna is saying. This is Shastra Pramana. And Krishna himself is saying this in Bhagavatam. Krishna samya nahe tanra madhurya aswadana bhakta bhave kare tanra madhurya charvana. So the sweetness of Krishna is not to be tasted by those who consider themselves equal with Krishna. So if you think I am Krishna, you can never understand the sweetness of Krishna. It is tasted only through sentiment of servitude. Bhakta bhave kare tanra madhurya sarvana. So when you accept the mood of a devotee, then only you can understand Krishna's greatness, Krishna's sweetness. Shastrera siddhantaye vijnera anubhava mudaloka nahi jane bhavera vaibhava. So Shastrera siddhantaye, this is the conclusion of all Vedic literatures. Vijnera anubhava, which is the realization of experienced devotees. Mudaloke nahe jani, foolish people can never understand this. Bhavera vaibhava, the opulences of devotional emotions. Bhakta bhava angikari Balarama Lakshmana. So understanding this devotee mode, Jai Shri Shri Radha Govinda Ki. So they have accepted devotional mood as a devotee. Who and all accepted? Balarama, Lakshmana, Advaita, Nityananda, Shesha, Sankarshana. Krishnera Madhurya Rasamrita Karepana. They started drinking that sweetness of Krishna's melodic pastimes. Only when they understood that, when they took the devotee form, then Balarama, all the personalities whom names have been mentioned, they all could taste Krishna's sweetness. Seisuka matta kichu nahi chanayat. They are all mad with that happiness and they know nothing else. They only know that sweetness of Lord Krishna, nothing else they know. Anyera achuk karya apane Shri Krishna apana madhurya pane hoila satrushna. What to speak of others? Even Krishna himself becomes thirsty to taste his own sweetness. Swamadhurya aswadite karena yatana bhakta bhava vinunahe taha aswadana. So he tries to taste his own sweetness, but he cannot do so without accepting the emotions of a devotee. So unless, if even Krishna wants to know about himself, he has to accept the emotion of a devotee. Then only he can understand about himself. So now, how Kumaras are related in this? What do we understand in this perspective? Kumaras, they became devotees because of unflinching Drudha Bhakti Yogena, Udgratayanta Hridi Viragaha, and Anutruptaha, achieving the mercy of the Lord. See, I may have my qualifications, but the end, Lord has to be merciful to me. Not that every qualified person is eligible. Lord decides whether he wants to show or not show. So my duty is to do my perfect capacity and wait for the mercy of the Lord. And further, Lord Chaitanya explains about Lord Krishna's capacity. He says, Krishnera Swarupa Vichara Suna Sanatana. Oh my dear Sanatana, please listen to Krishna's variegatedness, Krishna's speciality. Advaya Jnana Tattva Vraje Vrajendra Nandana. And he is the absolute truth. Advaya Jnana Tattva. Without divide of Advaya, there is no duality in it. But present in Vrindavana as son of Nanda Maharaj. Vraje Vrajendra Nandana. Sarva Adi Sarva Amshi Kishora Shekara Chidananda Deha Sarvashraya Sarveshwara. So Krishna is the original source of everything. Sarva Adi. Sarva Amshi, the sum of everything. Kishora Shekara, he appears as supreme youth. Chidananda Deha, his body is made of supreme bliss. Sarva Ashrayaha is the shelter of everything. Sarva Ishwaraha, he is the master of everything. This is Krishna's capacity. Swayam Bhagavan Krishna Govinda Paranama. Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead and Govinda is his alternative name. Paranama, original name. Sarvaishwarya Purna Yanra Goloka Nitya Dama. He is full of all opulences. Sarvaishwarya Purna Yanra Goloka Nitya Dama. His eternal abode is Goloka Vrindavana. Seha Rahu Vraje Yabe Krishna Avatara Tanra Charitra Vicharite Mananapaya Pura. Mananapaya Para. So, apart from all argument, logic and negative or positive process, when Krishna was present as Supreme Lord at Vrindavana, no one could find a limit to his potencies by studying his character and activities. Just by when Krishna was there, when he was displaying his pastimes, nobody could measure him. And how it is, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explains. Prakruta Aprakrita Srishti Kaila Ekakshane Ashesha Vaikunta Ajanda Swaswa Natasane. So the Lord immediately created all material and spiritual planets in a moment. Indeed, they were all created with their predominating deities. Just Lord exhales the air from his body, unlimited universes manifest out of his body. And in that body, within that universe, there is one Maha Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. And he expands further creation. And how long is this entire creation? Just one inhale and exhale. And how many seconds just generally for us? In a minute, we do 18 inhale and exhale. This is average. Means somewhere around 3 seconds per one inhale and one exhale. And for Lord, one inhale and one exhale is 100 days of Brahma. 100 years of Brahma. And before 100 years of Brahma, before Brahma got created, Garbhodaksha Vishnu has to create, and he has to fill the universe with all the water, and the lotus has to sprout, and Brahma has to come out, he has to meditate upon the Lord, he has to understand the Lord. After Lord gave him realization, from then 100 years. Then you can understand how much time that 3 seconds of Maha Vishnu could be in our relative time. Emata anyatra nahi suniya adbhuta yahara shravane chitta hoya avadhuta. We do not hear any these wonderful things anywhere else. Simply by one's hearing of those incidents, one's consciousness is agitated and cleansed. Krishna Vatser Asankhyatai Shukadeva Vani. How many calves were there with Krishna? Shukadeva Goswami was saying, Asankhyak hai. Nobody can count how many calves were with Krishna, it seems. Krishna Vatsehi. Krishna Sange Kata Gopa Sankhya Nahi Janina. How many boys were there with Krishna? Even that you cannot count. Shukadeva says, Krishna had unlimited boys and Krishna had unlimited cows. Neither boys you can count nor cows you can count. Eka eka gopakare ye vatsa charana koti arbudha shanka padma tahara ganana. And each boy is having so many cows. If you count the number of cows of each boy, it says they were extend to a capacity of koti. Koti is 1 crore. Arbudha is 100 crore. Shanka 1000 crore. And Padma is more than 10,000 crore, 1 trillion crores or something like that. And each boy is handling that many number of cows. And Krishna's cows are unlimited, Krishna's friends are unlimited, and their cows are unlimited. Now how you can say how many boys existed there and how many cows existed there in Vrindavan, in a small village? Not only boys now. Vetra Venu Dalashrunga Vasra Alankara Gopaganera Yatatara Nahi Lekapara. All cowhead boys and unlimited calves and their canes, flutes, lotus flowers, horns, garments and ornaments were all unlimited. They cannot be limited by writing about them. Sabha Haila Chaturbuja Vaikuntera Pati Pratak Pratak Brahmandera Brahma Karestuti. See, this is Brahma when he tried to steal away the boys. When he came back and saw who are all these personalities they are playing with the Lord, this is what he saw. Unlimited boys, unlimited calves he saw. Now that unlimited personality is transformed into unlimited Vishnus. And each Vishnu is in charge of one Vaikunta or one material world. So all the Brahmas from that universes came to offer respects to Brahma, to offer to Vishnu with Krishna. So there were one Krishna with unlimited Vishnus, with unlimited Brahmas, and our Brahma, he is seeing there with 4-headed Brahma, he is seeing there all these things. Then he is thinking that Brahmas are with unlimited heads. I am a person with 4 heads. Who is superior now? Eka Krishna Deka Hoite Sabara Prakashe Kshaneka Sabai Se Sharira Praveshe. So all the transcendental bodies of that Vishnu emanated from body of Krishna. In next moment they all merged into the body of the Lord. Iha Deki Brahma Haila Mohita Vismita. By seeing all these things, Brahma became astonished and confused. Or how is this possible? Stuti kare e pache karila nishchita. Then he started offering prayers. Ye kahe Krishnera Vaibhava Muni Sabha Janon. If somebody says, I know about Krishna everything, say Januka Kaya Mane Muni Ye Manon. But as far as I am concerned, with my body and mind, I consider it is in this way. People may say, I know everything about Krishna. But my understanding is, Ye Tomara Ananta Vaibhavamruta Sindhu Moravan Manogamya Nahe Ekabindu. So your opulences are like an ocean of unlimited ocean of nectar. And it is verbally and mentally impossible for me to realize even a drop of that ocean. By my capacity of by my mind and by intelligence, whatever I understand is only just a drop, and your capacity is unlimited ocean. Krishnera mahima rahu kebak tara jnata vrindavana sthanera deke ashcharya vibhuta. Let glories of Krishna be. Who could be aware of all of them? He is about Vrindavana, has many wonderful appearances. Just see them all. Shola krosha Vrindavana shastrera prakashe. According to revealed scriptures, Vrindavana is only 16 kroshas. Tara eka desha Vaikunta ajhanda gana bhashe. Nonetheless, all the Vaikunta planets with innumerable universes are located in just one corner of the tract of land of Vrindavana. Apara Aishwarya Krishnera Nahika Ganana Shaka Chandra Nyaye Kari Dik Darshana. So no one can estimate the opulences of Krishna. It is unlimited. But just by trying to see moon through the branches of a tree, we wish to give a little education. Shaka Chandra Nyaya. This is sometimes like we see moon from the branches of a tree. So we can understand the leaf is this much, the moon is smaller than between the leaves. So we are trying to understand that big moon in comparison to a small leaf. The size of a leaf you are trying to compare in between the leaves. Means the Krishna which is unlimited capacity we are trying to understand with our limited perspective. So this is Lord Chaitanya was explaining to Sanatana. We are trying to understand with a fragment only. But Krishna is unlimited. So who can understand Krishna? Who cannot understand Krishna? So qualification is required. So yesterday I was listening to somebody. He was quoting about that flower, you know, that paper flower. You see that corner? One flower is there near that. Like Kagitam pool antar. So he said there is a logic in that flower. That flower, when there is no water, it will be full of flowers, it seems, that tree. When you pour water, it will be full of green leaves, it seems. So he was explaining the logic. When there is no water available for it, it becomes fully flowery, it seems. So trying to attract the attention of people, see when people see full of flowers, they become attracted. Oh, this tree is full of flowers, let us go and pour little water into it. And when it is receiving water, it stops giving flowers and it becomes fully green, it seems. So what is relative for me here? If you want mercy of the Lord, your hunger should be more. So that Lord identifies your hunger and He will give you that mercy in the form of which we can understand Him. So similarly, in devotee's life, how Krishna gives opportunity to preach, nobody knows. This is one incident in South Africa. This is narrated by a devotee known as Kapila Devadas. He was in charge of African preaching and all. So they used to enact dramas to make people aware about Krishna consciousness. So initially they were playing the touchstone, a class prisoner, C-class prisoner, boatman and boatman. Like that they were all playing that initial small snippets what Prabhupada used to explain. But later they began preaching pure scriptures like Mahabharata, Ramayana, various incidents, serious topics they used to take and they used to enact that place. One day the Hindu society in that area had requested them to enact a play for them outside a stadium in a small tent for 200 people. So Kapila accepted that proposal. So he took the time and date, location. He called up all his members, please be ready, so and so date, so and so time. This is behind the stadium for an audience of 200 people. So on that particular day, the devotees and all went to the stadium. There was a small shed outside the stadium and they were all rehearsing for the play. In the meantime, there was a match, a soccer match in the stadium. Around 60,000 Africans have assembled and this match is between two greatest rivals of Africa. It is called as Chatsworth Sports Stadium. This match is the Premier African League, Amajula Warriors and Kaiser Chiefs. These are the two rivals in that soccer match and the match is between them. 60,000 audience were there. So one devotee So he came there, but he misunderstood. The drama is outside the stadium. He thought drama is inside the stadium. He thought, how is this Kapila could able to arrange 60,000 people to witness our drama? He is trying to pass everybody. Kapila is there, Kapila is calling me, Kapila is calling me. He is informing everybody, I am Kapila's man, I am Kapila's man, and he is pushing inside through the ticket counter, everything and all. And people were surprised, who is this Kapila? And because of his strong determination, I am Kapila's man, I am Kapila's man, everybody gave way and he went inside. And generally it is practice to go into the center of the stage and wait for the team to come. So when he went to the center of the stage, he saw 60,000 people there. And he was thinking his team members have not yet arrived. And it's a general practice to invite his members by making know that I am here. He raised his hands and he started saying, Hare Krishna. Then people all thought this is a way to start the program. All the 60,000 people are chanting Hare Krishna loudly. So like that he thought, he wanted to inform Kapila that I am here. Second time he again raised his hand and he raised his voice even more and he said Hare Krishna. Then the crowd started increasing their voice and they started increasing and they started shouting Hare Krishna. The entire area, 60,000 people chanting Hare Krishna. Their speakers were all like, your ears will be like deafening sound. In the meantime, the troupe who is playing outside, they are all wondering suddenly, where is the sound coming from Hare Krishna from the stadium? So, the Hindu society, they were thinking, Arey, these ISKCON people have so many big followers. They are very popular in Africa. See, 60,000, so many people are chanting Hare Krishna. We thought they are small group. So this devotee, then he understood that he is in a wrong place. Immediately he ran away from that place, got into his car and vanished from that area. And the Kapila got to know only next day morning because why he had not appeared, and he understood, oh, this is all the Mahat Karya of this devotee who went to the stadium and propagated about this. Then he was thinking, yes, this is a good opportunity for us. Making 60,000 people chant Hare Krishna with the Kirtan and all is not a small thing, no. Then he thought, when will Lord bless us with this opportunity again? He said, this is something in a dream only could happen. It will never happen again. After 1 year, one day when he went out to do preaching and all, when he came back in the evening, he got a message from the local administration. You have to come immediately, there is a meeting. So he and his wife, they went to the meeting. It was in a 5-star hotel with all luxury, everything and all. And there were many chairs. There were 2 generals, army generals were there, and many high-rank officials were there. And when they saw he and his wife, they were all started making jokes. He asked his wife what they were talking. She said, they are talking very nasty about us. They started making jokes, they started making fun. So, when they understood that meeting was to make aware that police were with community, they wanted to build a bond with the public there. So they wanted to organize one charitable football match. The same match what earlier happened between that warriors and the kings. Same match, now a charitable event, so that public and police, that interaction becomes very smooth. So they were asking, the MC was asking different people for budgets. So one person was asked, what is the budget? He is looking for transportation. He said, around 1 lakh rand I require for transportation. Then somebody else was saying, for advertisement, I require around 1.8 lakh rand. For things like that, when these devotees were asked, what it will take for you to supply food for 1 lakh people? He said, it costs 0. Then they were all surprised. How is it 0? He said, we have donations, and the people who have sponsored us, they said, use it by your discretion to feed the community. So Krishna is giving us, Krishna will send us, we will feed the community. Without, we don't want any of your funds, we will feed the community. Then as soon as he said, everybody stood up, they paid, gave a warm reception, and they bowed and they gave respect to these devotees. And the event happened this time with 1 lakh people, and they were introducing the devotees to the program, that these are sponsoring food for the entire 1 lakh people. As soon as the devotees entered the stadium, all the 1 lakh crowd started saying Hare Krishna with a higher voice. See how Krishna's Leela will be. We just have to be desiring. We have to have the hunger to preach, and Krishna will provide means and ways how we can preach. I'll stop here. Any questions or doubts? ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की, जगत गुरु शिला प्रभुपाद की, तथा गौर प्रेमानंद.